Wonka Womadi. Wonka Womadi. Aha, Wonka Womadi. Wabra English Brody, Apem, Aha Watch, Evolution Ebasa, the year 1873. British Brody, Umber, and another Umber, Ma, Yaman, Nana, Cobrigan, Nabro, Akada, Okete, Yam. Brody, Upper Broma, now Wabra, one country. What
Our day continues with our interview with an elder who is from the local community who knows all about the Bakatue Fest. So we are here and we are ready to continue this conversation all about the Bakatue and why it happened. And now we're here at part 2. And I noticed that there were some women who were wearing white. What was the purpose of, and there was also some men and some children who were wearing white as well. What was the purpose of these individuals wearing white?
They only put on white to identify themselves that they have some duties to perform for the state. Privately, when the Bakatue activities are not around, they put on usual dress as we also have. But on Bakatue, on certain important days of the community, they put on this white to identify themselves that they are different and they are performing some duties for the state. And whenever they put on these calico or these white dresses and what have you, they have every authority to take every domestic pet from the community free, and you cannot question them why they are taking that pet away or what have you. They have authority to take it free, either to enjoy it on his meal or whatever. But usually they take it for the purpose.
Okay, so they are not to be questioned. They were walking about, and as they were walking about, they were holding food. One was yellow, one was white. They also had some eggs, and they were eating a little bit of it and throwing some on the floor. What was the purpose of this whole ordeal?
You know, these divinities, they are around everywhere, and even have their possession in some of these earthly things like rocks, stones, trees, and what have you. So even it can be a mango tree, then they have their spirits in some of these mango trees. But those ones are being known in the community that this type of mango or this type of coconut or this type of palm tree is a divinity. So, and you know, they are spirits, and the food or the meal cannot be eaten as a human being is being eaten. So we sprinkle them around that in case you do not even know that wherever you are standing has a divinity, and that the divinity will accuse you that, oh, you refuse to give me a meal. So in order to avoid all these things, it's better to throw it around wherever you are. So if there is any divinity around, then you have fed that divinity.
At another point at the river, they were holding sticks in their hand. There were two men and they were performing this kind of back and forth dance with each other. What is the purpose of the whole dance that they were doing at the water?
The purpose of this dancing is called kebu. Kebu, meaning the 2 or the 3 men are preparing for sea expedition. They are going for fishing. And you know the sea is rough and you cannot easily go into the sea just like that. Before you put a canoe on the sea, you should watch the waves, the smaller ones, and when it become very soft, then you can move the canoe. But when the waves are very big and heavy, you cannot do. So the one at the front is the one who is keeping an eye on the sea, and when it is rough, then he raised the hand to tell the one behind that, no, we cannot proceed. Let's get back. Slowly, then you'll be seeing they are getting back. Then all of a sudden, then he gives another side that the sea is fine. So let's move. Then they move 1, 2, 3. Then again, he stops the guy. No, no, we cannot. Take time. Take time. It's sort of communication with all the divinities of the lagoon and the sea.
Okay.
And also, they do this spiritually to draw fishes from the sea into the lagoon. It's a kind of rituals performed in that order, which mainly they are going for sea, and the sea is rough, and they have to be careful where the waves become very small, where the waves become very big, then they have to take time. So that is the communication of that movement or activity. So
Zaweye mwoki beku na yabaka masa. Zaweye Bakatue and there, Warukoku, now Apuna Warukan, Sotino, Usino Oya, and Nenya Ayamata. Where did they go? Where are they? I'm telling you, Nana, I mean, I'm putting who are the more than they want. Come on, let's say them. I'm doing it.
the chief was holding a bell and he was shaking it in his hand. There was another man who was doing the same exact act as this other man had like a bowl on his head with trees and leaves. What was the purpose of the shaking of the bells, and also what was this bowl of stuff on his head?
The one shaking the balls is another way of communication, inviting the 77 divinities of the state, and also letting them know that it is time for them to get themselves ready for a ritual to be performed before them. Assuming that maybe I'm sitting with you, we are conversing, and somebody is calling us, but we are not paying attention. So maybe he sounds that bell. So for you to, somebody is wanting to talk to you or calling you. So that is the meaning of the bell. The one carrying the wooden tray with that substance is the real meal, presenting to them for the end of the 21 days fasting. And that wooden tray contains some medicinal plants and other herbs, which some plants are even magnetic.
Oh, wow.
And some other plants, when they touch each other, it begins to give smoke and what have you. So these herbs are in that wooden tray with a red and white masdium with 154 eggs being ushered into the lagoon to break their fast. After the chief has already taken his meal and he has breaking his fast, the rest also have to also break their fast. On the Bakatue Day, I don't know whether you saw it. There was a wooden tray with herbs, a masked yam, red and white with eggs, which was ushered into the lagoon. And that goes to tell you that is the rare custom of the Bakatue.
Ma nana ugasiwa mobesi mama
Can you explain to us what's the purpose of the fishermen on the boat casting the net 1, 2, and then 3 times, and then also at the end they were able to gather some fish? What is the whole meaning behind this?
No, from the onset, the senior brother settled at Iguafu, and the second brother settled at Elmina. So one is a fisherman and one is a farmer. So a week prior to the celebration of Edina Bakatue, the senior brother sends down yam for it to be cooked with the fish that you have them in the net. And that is it. So as you also cast the net to have fish, you also send some fish to the brother, also have some fish to cook with the yam that you also have. So it has been a traditional norm that 1 week prior to the Bakatue festival, the Iguafu king have to come down with this yam. And after we also cast nets, we also send whatever we have in the net to Iguafu. The meaning is that we have fish in abundance and they don't have fish. And we also don't have yam and they have them in abundance. And so they send down their yam and we also send them fish as an exchange for everybody to enjoy their meal.
Bruni
When you want to be a fan, then you see Brody, what to other now for them, then a new season, what to grab a head. Now, over the food, throw out that your friend, and no man's and now, listen, on the and no man's over the food, need now, okay, as soon as you number a child, six of land. Yamaha. A top fufu in our cocoa, Chirefua, aha, a duenum, and then what is share in swim. I know, I'm not ready yet to Baka. Na inumuzi oya afefeza yaze kamara keke wangu ayefe na oma oye enije enti za yebeye ne hebiaran yebechirem na wehu za okodo wa ha aprayer na ntase edina Bakatue afi impime bien aha. Oh yeah, one wire down, one wire fell. Go me one sound here. Ebe, could see you with him and the man. In your mo. Officiaba, what the one of here, a bet train. Namara, and a crossover of the now. Umana way, power, Ghana, and that. Umana way, my now of what the next I am war. You are here, you grow out of it, our woman. You try your friend at Sama. Tano Wapo, what the women see, nobody, yes, and so there. So much man and woman will there, Ahaya. My Otano in Basa, only you grow up, what friend and now, oh, that when you are the water, you grow it now where we are. Why are you there? Now, one of what I don't know what made you who would stop upon it? What the castle is in even you are around it all, we celebrate Bakatue as 4 important events. We celebrate Bakatue to remember the deity, the divinity. Also to remember the founder of the community, Kwamankwa. The third is to celebrate our victory wars with the Fanti states. Then the last one is to put away the fasting that we did.
That is the conclusion of Bakatue Part 2. It was going down this Bakatue, y'all. We seen some boat twerkers. There was so much action happening on the water, and it was a great time. So make sure that you stay tuned for Part 3. The last and final part of the coverage for the Bakatue Fest is happening, so make sure you tune in. If you have not, make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe.